Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So I had a look at the racing tomorrow and I've ended up just selecting horses at Ascot. I did look at York. There was a couple of races that were interesting. Obviously there's a four-runner affair which doesn't interest me. There is also the Skybet Dash, and the horse that I was keen on here was Rage of Bambi. Let me just load this race up for you so you can see which one I'm referring to. It's the 240. Rage of Bambi caught my eye. She's had just the one run this season. She finished last of 13. The ground would have been against her that day. She's back on the better going. And she's actually nicely handicapped. You know, she finished second in a handicap of 100, beaten a neck, and would run tomorrow off 99. But Eve Johnson Horton's form is atrocious. She has not got her horses running well at all. And to be honest, that's just too much for me. And it's put me off Rage of Bambi, and I'm going to leave that race alone, the Skybet Dash. So we will talk about the ones we are going to look at, and we will move to the first race that we like is the 150, the Sodexo Live Princess Margaret Stakes, a Group 3 for fillies. And we are going to take one of our eye catchers from Royal Ascot, but also one of our eye catchers actually from the time before that when she was third at York, and that is Simmering. I highlighted Simmering when she finished third at York, said she travelled really nicely. The fact that Ollie Sangster isn't a big name trainer, and yet the horse still went off 3-1 favourite. Travelled really, really nicely, and then just seemed to lack experience late on, finished third. I said I thought that was a good run. She then went to Ascot and got beat by Fairy Godmother, the very impressive Fairy Godmother. I thought that was a very good effort from Simmering, and this race will probably be I think it's between Simmering personally, Simmering and Handcuffed. Now Handcuffed would be the danger for me. The Queen's Own, or the King's Own, sorry, owned Andrew Balding horse, who she won over 6 furlongs at Newbury. Now the betting, I think, will be a real key here, because Handcuffed beat another Ollie Sangster horse in Angelica Bay. Now, Angelica Bay didn't go off favourite that day, whereas Simmering did. And I think they'll probably be suggesting that Simmering is the better of those two out of Simmering and Angelica Bay. And that might all she needs to be. That might be the difference between being better than Handcuffed and not. I think she is the one being backed. Interestingly, it's blue lines about the pair of them. But yeah, I think Simmering will take all of the beating here, to be honest. If you took Fairy Godmother out of the race last time at Ascot, she was a very nice winner, coming through late on to pick them up, having travelled really strongly. And it's crazy that she's favourite, having not yet won. And yet the three behind her, Mandura, Handcuffed and Definitive, have all won. In fact, every other horse has won a race apart from Simmering. But I'm hoping that she breaks her duck tomorrow under Ryan Moore. Moving on to the 225 at Ascot, the Valiant Stakes, the Group 3 for fillies and mares. And the horse that I'm going to take a bit of a chance on here is Friendly Soul. Now, we're going to get a bit of a price about Friendly Soul. Let's just have a look. Bearing in mind, this is a Group 3. She's getting backed as well. You can currently get 5s about Friendly Soul. Now, you've got to remember, last time out, she went off in the Musadora Stakes, 8-11. She went off 8-11 in a Group 3. She's coming back here, and she's going to go off. Well, she's going to go off shorter than 5s. She's going to go off. I reckon she could even go off favourite. I don't like Soprano in this race. I think she was well handicapped when she won the handicap. And Devoted Queen, there are still some question marks about her. Yes, she's been winning nicely, but I think Friendly Soul is going to prove that actually she is very good. It just all went wrong last time. The excuse that they came back with was she hung right-handed throughout. That was at York. We're now at Ascot. Probably the right way round for her. And yeah, if she'd won that race at York, she'd have probably been off to the Oaks. But obviously she didn't, so she didn't run in the Oaks. But yeah, I think we're getting a price about her on the basis of one run. It's not that she's just had the one run this season either. You can't be going, well, maybe she didn't train on. She did. She come back out this season and beat Kalpana. Obviously, Kalpana has done well before that and since. Kalpana went on to finish third in the Ribblesdale at Ascot and then has come out and won a listed race at Hamilton. I mean, the form is strong there. It just all went wrong last time, and because of that, we're getting a bigger price than we should do about Friendly Soul. Even if she'd finished like 4th or 5th that day, you'd have probably seen her, at top price of like 7-2 here. But because she finished last, people are seeing that and going, well, she's clearly not as good as they thought. Things all went wrong last time out. Give her that chance, and I think she will bounce back here. We move on to the Moet and Chandon International Stakes, and if you've been following my tweets and my analysis videos, you'll know who I'm going to be selecting here. Interestingly, there's a few that we've backed before. Carry the One, Eminency, 5,000 to 1. Interestingly, I just want to check that one, 5,000 to 1. Yeah, it was an eye catcher, I'm hoping this will be too far. I'm hoping that horse will be better over 6 in a handicap. Summergand, where's Summergand? Down the bottom here. Orazio. We're not going to do any of those tomorrow. We are going to go for Bless Him and Fresh. Now, Bless Him gets his usual jockey back. Jamie Spencer's back on after being suspended last week at Newmarket. Don't worry about the quick turnaround. He's done it before. He does it nearly every year, this Newmarket Ascot. He even won both of these races back in... When was it? He definitely won them both. 2019? No, surely not. Just trying to find it on my other screen at the moment. Where is it? He won them both consecutively, I thought. Two seconds. No, he didn't. He won the Bunbury Cup last week, and then he finished second in this race behind Fresh. That was back in 2022. So 2 years later, he's coming back off a 98 mark now. When he was doing those near back-to-backs, he was off 101 and 102. Form at the track is fine. He is down to a mark that he can start to get competitive off. I highlighted him last week and said I was ignoring him, hoping that they were waiting for Jamie to be back available. Because Jamie, that's the jockey that seems to get Bless Him right, because he looks like a very tricky ride. He's the one that you need to wait, hold on to him, and hope he can pick up late on. And he's very tricky to get right, but Jamie doesn't do a bad job on the horse at all. And the fact that he's gone so close in this race before, you would hope that he can run well again. Is it his first time back for this race? I'm just having a look. No, he ran in it last year from up 102. He finished mid-division that year, 14th, when good headway, 6th of 14 in his group. So he didn't run too bad in his group. I think he will be able to go a bit better this year, off a lower mark. What is he, £4 lower this year? Yeah, he is old. It's probably the final race I'll be backing him in. I don't think I'll be backing him again after this. But it would be a nice way to end his career. The second horse that I'm also selecting in this race is Fresh, who definitely wants to step back up to 7. I actually think this was the plan after he got beat in the Buckingham Palace Stakes. Go back and watch the Buckingham Palace Stakes. Everyone thinks that Carry the One was the big eye catcher. I agree he was a big eye catcher, but I think Fresh was a bigger eye catcher down the near side. Didn't get a clear run. If he gets a clear run, I think he challenges English Oak, if not beats him. That came off mark of 92. The horse is now running off 91. Did drop down to 91 and then finished second last time out. Over 6 at Ascot. The horse doesn't want 6. The horse wants 7. He bumped into the very unexposed 3-year-old Giraffe. Yeah, I think it's demonstrating that he is in real top form, to be honest, Fresh, with a clear run. I think he's going to take all of the beating tomorrow. And if every horse got a clear run, I actually think Fresh would win it. And you can currently get 10s about Fresh, and you can get 16s about Bless Him. Moving on, we go to the King George, and I looked at this race. It's a Group 1, and I think there is a horse worth backing here. I'm taking on Auguste Rodin. I'm going to take him on with Rebel's Romance. Rebel's Romance looks much more consistent. Auguste Rodin throws in a bad one. Rebel's Romance doesn't really throw in a bad one and has clearly improved recently. Charlie Appleby's horses are in top quality form. They are going really, really well at the moment. And I think that's a big thing for the Appleby Godolphin horses. When he's got them in form, they do perform to their best. And on official ratings, the best performance of 123 would see Auguste Rodin need to improve to win. I actually don't think he will, because I know that he's been running over, I think, was the wrong distance, over 1 mile and 2. I think he's a 1 mile and 4 horse. But even then, if you look at that race when he won over 1 mile and 2, beating Zarakem and Horizon Door, Alflela, Royal Rhyme, Inspiral, who all obviously went wrong. Blue Rose Chen didn't look anywhere near the horse that previous form that horse had previously shown. I think that was a weak Group 1 over 1 mile and 2, whereas I think Rebel's Romance has been running in deep Group 1 races and has been winning them quite nicely, to be honest. I think Rebel's Romance is the one to take here, and we are going to get a slightly bigger price than... I think they should be joint favourites, personally, and yet you can get 7-2, you can get 4s about Rebel's Romance. Personally, I think they should be joint favourites. 2 to go, and we are going to look at... What have I not got? Nothing in the 415, which is a listed race, just 5 runners. And the next 2 are both going to be big price selections, relatively big price selections. I say that, the first one's not particularly, I guess. 450. Who do I like here? They have just opened up at 9s. It's Beau Pedro. Now, Beau Pedro comes into this race with quite moderate form figures. If you look at them here, 7, 8, 8, 3, 7. Now, 3 was his last decent run when he was not beaten that far in third off 98. He's down to 96. But he's back at Ascot, and I think that's key for him. That's what's really catching my eye here. He ran at Ascot, or the last time he ran at Ascot, he was 4th behind the Gatekeeper, who's done well since, Docklands, who has done well since, Ropey Guest, who's a Ascot specialist, and in front of Vetiver, who we highlighted as one to keep an eye out for, because I thought she'd win a decent handicap. Unfortunately, she went to Chelmsford and won a listed race. She still might be able to win a handicap off 96. 99, sorry, so don't give up on her. Sonny Liston was back in 6th. Coeur d'Or back in 8th. Seeing if there was anything else a little bit further back. Baradar was right out the back. I think back at Ascot, we're going to see a better performance from Beau Pedro. David's horses are running well as well. That's a real interesting thing. And the fact that this horse hasn't been seen since the end of May, and now he's coming back when David's horses are in great form, I think he's waited and gone, now's the time to throw Beau Pedro back out, having got the horse quite well handicapped, previously as high as 103, down to 96. He's now handicapped well enough to get involved in a decent handicap, and I think he's found one here at Ascot over this mile trip. Beau Pedro definitely catches my eye there at 9-1. And the final one, the 525. Let's see what prices they've priced this one up at. They've currently opened at 25-1, outsider of the field. Call me Ginger. I'm going to have a little bit of a flyer on this one. I think the horse is very well handicapped, down to a very low 76, having previously been rated as high as, I'm just having a look, 91. Yeah, up to 91 before. In actual fact, has never ran in a race as low as this, as low as 76. Ran at 77 and finished second. 77, oh no, I beg your pardon. Has once ran off 75 and won. Beaten Jordan's Electrics at Hamilton. Isn't that his course? Jordan's Electrics, Hamilton's course. Ugh. Jordan Electric's course is Hamilton, where he runs all of his good races, and yet this horse was able to beat Jordan's Electric there. Back at Ascot, I think we'll be fine. The horse has been here a few times. If we go back, I want this trip as well. That's the key. 5 furlongs at this trip. So finished 11th of 13 in a race in October, back in October of 2023. That came off a mark of 90 though. Amy took 5 off, so was effectively running off 85. Well, Amy takes 5 off again tomorrow, so it's effectively running off 71. So what's that? £14 lower. The horse only went off 13-2 that day, and that was only 6 runs ago. 6 runs ago, if you go off 13-2 in a race off a £14 higher mark. Has he got any other Ascot form? Well, yes. The run before that at Ascot, the horse actually won off 87. Amy took 5 off to make it 82. Again, that would be £11 lower than this year. I think the real key as well is the horse wants this rattling fast ground. Good ground will be ideal. Been a bit all over the place. Went to Thirsk, gone good to soft. Definitely disappointed in the Air Gold Cup trial. But I think the key could be coming back to Ascot. I'm just having a look to see if the horse had any form at Air. A little bit, but a long while ago. Whereas we've actually got a couple of wins at Ascot for Call Me Ginger. One off 86, has one off 87. Disappointed in a Victoria Cup, but that was a Victoria Cup of 92. Just having a look, any other Ascot form. Ascot 6th in a handicap of 87. Yeah, that's all. Oh no, it's 6th again off 87. He's not running off 87. He's running off 76. Amy takes 5 off to make that 71. I mean, this horse will either finish last, nearly last, or run a huge race. I really think that. The horse has finished last the last twice. In his actual fact, has beaten just 2, 4, 5 rivals in his last 6 runs, and there's been about, I'm just a quick math there, about 55 runners. But if returning to Ascot does the trick, off this basement mark for this horse, Call Me Ginger could be a big price winner that wouldn't actually surprise me too much. So as I said, you can currently get 25s about Call Me Ginger. You're going to get about that. You're going to get 25s, 33-1 about Call Me Ginger. I don't think it'll be gambled. If it is gambled, then yeah, I'll be really confident of a big run. But I still think Call Me Ginger can go very close if he puts his best foot forward. So a quick recap. Simmering in the Princess Margaret Stakes. We'll find out. The more money, the better, because handcuffed I think is a danger, but these sangsters will know whether Simmering should be handcuffed. Friendly Soul is overpriced based on one poor run when the horse was badly hanging throughout the whole race. You don't go off 8-11 for a Musadora and then run in a similar class of race and go off 5-1. That will be shorter come race time. In the Moet and Chandon, bless him, giving him one more chance in this race. Jamie Spencer back on board. But Fresh, if they all get a clear run, I think Fresh will go very, very close. Rebels Romance, I think, should be joint favourite with Auguste Rodin. And based on that, just based on that alone, you should say that Rebels Romance is the bet in the race. Pedro to bounce back here. Has some decent form here. Looks quite nicely handicapped now. And a flyer in the last. Call Me Ginger, the outsider of the field, just in case the horse bounces back to anywhere near. It doesn't have to be to his best, to be honest, to win. Just runs a decent race for the horse, and he will go very close. Thanks for listening. Hope we have a few winners there, and have a great weekend.